Good morning. Welcome to the Extension Kitchen. Today we're going to be preparing a Moranga squash, or pumpkin squash. So the first step would be, this is our beautiful squash. It does look like a pumpkin, doesn't it? And so the first thing we're going to do is make sure that we wash the squash. All produce needs to be washed thoroughly, whether it's from your backyard garden or whether it's from a farmer's market or maybe even from your supermarket. We wash most of our vegetables in just a very cool tap water, and those vegetables that have some type of ridges, we want to make sure that we wash those thoroughly to get any type of dirt or anything that may have remained on this particular type of produce that we're using. So this morning with our squash, the first thing we're going to do, of course, after we have completed washing in the cold or lukewarm tap water, is we're going to cut the top of our squash off, because today we're going to make like a squash bowl with lots of wonderful vegetables and some shrimp included in it. So first thing is we're going to cut the top, okay? And so I'm just making a circle with my chef's knife to go around. You can use any type of really sharp knife. I just prefer using a chef knife. And oftentimes it may be a little bit hard because that's the nature of the squash itself. Okay, so now we have our top off, and we're going to take a large spoon, and as you can see, the inside has seeds and some membranes, and we're going to I'm going to use the spoon to scoop out all of the inside of the pumpkin so that we can put our filling in. And a large spoon works well, and sometimes even a metal spoon will help with some of the edges there along the sides. So as you can see, okay, and we'll put it in our garbage bowl. I've scraped and scooped everything out that's inside the membranes and the seeds inside of our pumpkin squash. And the seeds can also be roasted like we would roast a regular pumpkin seed. So that's a good use for what's left from the inside of your pumpkin. And our next step is we're going to take our pumpkin and place it face down and wrap it in aluminum foil. Just going to wrap it up on all four corners, and going to place it on a baking sheet. And we're going to place this in the oven at 350 degrees and bake it for around 45 to 50 minutes or until the outside starts to get a bit tender. The squash is in the oven, and to our saucepan, I've added butter and some olive oil, and we're sauteing garlic and onions, and they're just about ready. They're kind of translucent now. And the next thing we're going to do is add our vegetables. I have a couple of jalapeno peppers we're going to add to our mixture. Okay. And to give that a really good stir. I'm going to stir it around for just a few minutes and kind of let those kind of saute a little bit with our onions and our garlic in the olive oil and a little bit of butter. Okay. And then it's going to be time for us to add the shrimp. So we're going to add some medium-sized shrimp to our dish. And it only takes a few minutes for the shrimp to cook. It'll turn pink, and then we'll add the remainder of our vegetables. The shrimp has turned pink, so now we are ready to add our tomatoes to our mixture. Okay, and toss it. Okay, I can hear the sizzle of all those wonderful vegetables. Okay, we've got it thoroughly mixed. We're going to let those cook for a few minutes. And then we'll be ready to put our vegetable and shrimp mixture into our squash. adding the cream cheese to the inside of our pumpkin. And I'm going to kind of scoot it around on the sides so that it gets thoroughly coated inside. And the pumpkin is still a bit warm, so it's going to melt and give that nice coating inside our pumpkin. And then we will be ready to add the filling, and we can add a little bit of salt and pepper if you like, and some cilantro would be good also. Okay, I think we have it just about coated. I'm using just a spatula to kind of rub it up along the sides here. Kind of scoop it a little bit, leave a little bit in the bottom so that we have some that can kind of melt with our filling, with our shrimp and vegetable filling. Okay, there we go. Looks really yummy and it smells so good. Okay, now we're ready to add our mixture. Okay, our shrimp and our vegetables into our squash. Okay, there we go. Okay. All right, and then our final step is to cover it with a foil and put it back in the oven for about 20 minutes. So that gives it time for all that cream cheese that we kind of put along the sides of the pumpkin, and then we'll be ready to eat. Our squash is out of the oven. It's been baking for another 20 minutes, and now the cream cheese is melted down into our wonderful shrimp and vegetable filling, and so now we are ready to sample our wonderful squash.